So what do we do in the Not So New School? We have lots and lots of quizzes. So e-textbooks are quizzes at the end of each chapter. Learning management systems are full of quizzes, and it's the same old thing about right and wrong answers, which don't get to underlying thinking necessarily, and which also cannot deal with the problem of what's the last planet. There's a lot of knowledge in the world is not unequivocal, so to speak. But also what we have is, people say, oh, there's going to be more formative assessment. So the classic distinction is formative assessment is assessment which happens during learning, for learning, and summative assessment, it happens at the end, which is retrospective, which is how much did you learn. So people say, oh, look, we'll have lots of quizzes and we'll call that formative. Well, in fact, they're often summative assessments disguised as formative, these strange artifacts which we historically built to be retrospective, summative, end of learning exercises, evaluation exercises, and we put them all through the course and we make them feel like there's something different. They're not actually anything different at all in terms of the logic of what they're doing. They're looking at a smaller period of time, for example, but basically looking summatively at what you're supposed to have known using this rather peculiar sampling mechanism. We also have, in these environments, a whole lot of other reductions going on to things that are measurable. So decision trees in intelligent tutors are a good idea. So let's say you're in an algebra tutor, that you're going through, you're learning algebra, and you make the next step and you get it right, and you move on, you get it wrong, you give another example until you get it right, and so on. So the decision trees, even though intelligent tutors look like they're these very sophisticated things, in fact, the logic that's going on around how they evaluate knowledge and learning is the same kind of logic that we would have used always. Now, it's not to say these are not good things. It's not to say that quizzes are not good things, unequivocally. It's not to say that intelligent tutors are a bad thing. It's just to say that we end up in these e-learning environments which do very much the same thing that we've always done, perhaps a little bit more efficiently, perhaps a little bit quicker, but it's the same logic.